Hi, this is iPad Diary Quick Tips narrator, the Robot Girl. The iPad Diary English channel will share some quick tips for using iPad, both as a desktop and tablet. Amazing super dongle. You probably wonder what's the big deal? You might ask. Does a $30 dongle really warrant a full video? Those simply don't work. But I am so impressed with this dongle that I decided to pay a tribute to this dongle and the manufacturer. Why? Because I went through a dongle hell like most of you. Because of these and 3 or 4 more other dongles, which were basically trashes. Other than the one on the farthest right, none of them was able to handle this SSD. Even that dongle had trouble recognizing this SSD and often yielded speeds less than 100 megabytes per second. Of course, this SSD is 3.2 Gen 2 external SSD like the Samsung T7, which are extremely popular among iPad Pro users and is capable of doing 1 GB per second. Being the old chap that I am used to working with a docking station. I never liked the laptop form factor. The main reason, the helpless keyboards. Oh, believe me, I bought and used my share of laptops. I even used personal laptops as my main home computer because of the even uglier form factor and the space it takes. Yet, I always used my home laptops in clamshell mode. People complain about not enough ports on new Macs, although Apple recently added back those ports on the Pro models. I actually prefer lesser ports because I can't imagine myself working with all those ports occupied. It would be safe to say that people spend most of the time use their laptops mostly on a desk, rather than on their laps. Well, I can use it like this, my SSD directly attached to an iPad Pro when editing with LumaFusion, due to outrageous hard disk prices offered by Apple. It might look just fine on videos. But what about the battery, and the ever-tiny 13 or 11-inch screen? Not the most prudent way of using your computer. 120Hz screen or not, a larger monitor is much more efficient and ergonomical. All these cheaper hubs claim that they can handle 4K 60Hz, and they are 8-in-1s or 10-in-1s, just for under $40. What they don't tell you is that, once you plug in a monitor into most of these cheap dongles, a 4K monitor will very much saturate the bandwidth, the rest of the ports become useless. Maybe you can attach a mouse or a keyboard, which do not require much bandwidth, but forget about SSD or HDD. None of the cheap dongles I purchased worked properly with hard drives, let alone recognizing it. Hence, again, the casualties, as you see here and then few others, which I never bothered to include in his shot. The main reason? These are not meant to be used as a dock, or even a full hub, with either Macs, iPad Pros or any modern devices. Also, I would like to point out that, when it comes to choosing a dongle, you should not trust these reviews on Amazon. Their use cases might be different, and those people giving 4 or 5 stars are not fully informed. They just plug in a monitor or a keyboard and it works, hence the 4 stars for these imperfect dongles. After going through this dongle hell, I finally realized what I needed. I needed a minimum of 10 gigabit per second hub, namely 3.2 Gen 2 single lane. Although the main subject of this video is not this CalDigit Soho dock, let me briefly explain it before discussing the star dongle of this video. This is the product that should fit the bill. Unfortunately, my dear friend in California forgot to bring this dock. I believe this dock was over $100 just a year or so ago. With customs and delivery fees, it would cost me $150. One of the reasons I decided to try my luck with cheaper dongles that I can easily get locally. Of course, it is from one of the top brands in the Apple peripheral ecosystem. If you look at the specs, it not only does 10 gigabit per second, but it has a separate lane for displays. Apparently a 3.2 Gen 2 double lanes. I guess the manufacturer decided not to use the nomenclature, as it has changed twice already, certainly contributing to the significant consumer confusion. Good luck figuring out this table. But it is as good it gets. Then while I was researching for the hub that works, I came across this tiny dongle from a manufacturer called Pluggable. I had been using another Pluggable product for the last 5 or 6 years ago. This is a manufacturer based in Seattle, and they have been making wonderful hubs for Windows computers for a long time. Plug in anything, everything works, and I used it as my docking station with my Windows Acer laptops. No hiccups at all, and it performs flawlessly. I knew that the company started getting into supporting Apple devices, apparently with the rise in popularity of M1 devices. This 7-year-old hub now supports even Mac displays with a driver update. However, I did not know until recently that they were making this low-priced dongle. If you are shopping for reasonably priced hubs, go check out the Pluggable.com website. I have zero affiliation with Pluggable and bought these products with my own money. Oh, by the way, if you like the contents covered in this video, please hit that thumbs up button, which will go a long way to help me continue making similar videos. So I wanted to try both hubs and ordered them to be delivered to my friend in the US. Unfortunately, my friend left the CalDigit hub and only brought me this Pluggable dongle. I really wondered whether this would work, as it is a 5 gigabit per second dongle. I first plugged the monitor and the SSD to the dongle. Drum roll. After all the hell I went through, the SSD was instantly recognized. And I will let the speed test speak for itself. Wow. No sweat. No flickering with my 4K monitor. So I added a 1 gigabit Ethernet adapter dongle. Works fine, 100 megabit per second, internet speed is my ISP limitation. Then I connect an additional USB 3 hard disk via a self-powered USB 3 hub, the old tech. This won't work, I thought. Wow, no sweat, 100 megabit per second. Never seen this speed on my other cheap dongles. SMB transfer gives you only 30 megabit per second. So I decided to push my luck and connect this HDD directly to the USB port to the Ethernet adapter, which is connected to the Pluggable dongle. My USB-C Gen 3.2 4K Huawei monitor cannot handle this SSD. This won't work, I thought. Oh, well. Both disks work fine. This is a small dongle and charges at 87 watt. I noticed that it did not lose any battery in 2 hours on an iPad mini, with a 4K monitor, albeit 1.4 HDMI, 2 disks and an Ethernet adapter. Perfectly reasonable. For just $29. Push it a little more. Something ought to give. Now, the test between the connected drives. By now, this $29 dongle certainly knocked it out of the ballpark. When using SMB server to transfer the files, the fastest speed I've seen with this Transcend hard disk was 30 megabytes per second. Hence, this rather a long review for a mere under $30 dongle. I am not a tech whiz, but my guess is that this Pluggable dongle has either a separate lane for the monitor or is allocating its bandwidth in the most efficient way. So I now have found myself a budget hub, if a practical dock that won't break the bank. This will serve just fine as a dock, in the sense that it will allow me to just draw a cable and connect to the devices that I use. Of course, this dongle isn't good enough for the power users, huddling at 2 to 3 GB per second, NVMe disks. But 300 megabytes per second with a SSD on a $30 dongle is good enough to serve as a hub for a novice YouTuber like me. Even for a pro user, I'd say this dongle will certainly make a wonderful travel dongle. I have 3 desk setups, and this is the perfect dongle for the secondary and very much for my main setup for now. I was so happy with this product in the previous Windows hub, I went and ordered a full-blown Thunderbolt USB 4 hub from Pluggable. I'm very sure there are 3.2 Gen 1 dongles out there that might work as well as this dongle, but I thought I wanted to share this with you. Hasta la vista.